Good morning. Today we're going to learn more about what are integers. So as we go through this lesson, I want you to think about that question. This shows a number line that lets us know that the integers include the counting numbers, which we have above us, and their opposites, plus 0, which is in the middle, are considered integers. So if I have the number 6, what is the opposite of 6? If you said negative 6, then you're correct. 6 and negative 6 are opposites of each other and are the same distance from 0. It's important to note that 0 is neither positive nor negative. The opposite of 0 is 0. So, what is the opposite of 0? Another way to look at this would be to think of positive and negative numbers as a thermometer, where 0 is 0 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. And so we could be 6 degrees warmer, and we would be in the positive numbers, or warmer than 0, or we could be 6 degrees colder. So it's below 0, and that's the negative 6. Now I have a question for you, that if the opposite of 6 is negative 6, what is the opposite of negative 7? If you said 7, you would be correct because it is 7 units from 0, where this would be negative 7. I'm probably not doing that perfect, but we get the idea. Try 2. So the distance from 0 to 7, the distance from 0 to negative 7 on the thermometer is 7 units. The distance from 0 to 7 on the thermometer is 7 units. The distances from 0 to a number and 0 to its opposite are equal. Since we know this, if I tell you that there is a number such as 11 and negative 11, what is their distance to 0? The distances are equal, so the distance to 0 for both would be 11. So as a review, the opposite of 30 is negative 30. The opposite of 0 is 0. 0 is its own opposite. What is the opposite of 0? The opposite of negative 50 is 50, because they're both 50 units from 0. Another thing that's important to know is that 0 is neither positive nor negative. The opposite of 0 is 0. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is you can say the opposite of the opposite, which can sound confusing. So I left this up here. It says, for example, the opposite of the number 6 is negative 6, and the opposite of negative 6 is 6. You can write this as the opposite of 6 is, you can write this as negative, parentheses, negative 6, parentheses, equals 6. So I was trying to say the opposite of a negative number would be the positive number, okay? So it's the opposite of negative 5. I think I was getting ahead of myself. Practice. What goes here? What number would go in that spot? Practice. What number would go in this spot? Practice. what would go in this spot? If you answered -1, -2, -3, -4 to this one, this is between, so this is 0, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, then you would be correct. So let's practice again. Where would these numbers be placed in a number line if you had these temperatures for a given week? How did you do? If you have it incorrect, you may want to change your responses on your paper. And now I want you to think about what day was the coldest day out of this week? What day was the warmest? I can look, -5 was the coldest day, was the warmest day. Go back. -5 is the integer farthest to the left on the number line. So Monday was the coldest day. 4 degrees is the integer farthest to the right on the number line. So Wednesday. Which number is greater, -4 or -2? If you said -2, you would be correct because -2 is closer to 0 on the number line. I also think about this in terms of money. If I owed money, I would rather owe $2, -2, be in the whole $2 than being in the whole $4. Integers also describe many real-world situations, including altitude, which is how high or low, elevation, depth, temperature, and electrical charges. 0 represents a specific value in each situation. Which integer represents sea level? What integer represents the airplane? The whale? If you said 0 for sea level, you would be correct. The plane is at 10,000 feet. Actually, it doesn't tell us what unit it's in. And the whale is at 10,000, -10,000, so it's below sea level. Time to practice. Which integer represents each situation? A $10 debt. 6 degrees below 0. A deposit of $25. If you answered a debt, it would be a -$10. 6 degrees below 0. Deposit is not a withdrawal, so a deposit would be a positive number. In summary, the key concept for today is to know that the definition of integers are that all the counting numbers, their opposites, and 0. Opposites are integers that are the same distance from 0 and on opposite sides of 0 on the number line. So for example, -7 and 7 are opposites. We have negative integers, which are to the left of 0 on our round number line, and positive integers, which is to the right.